Yeah, I finally watched the Kai no Kiseki new trailer. It was like a 1 minute long trailer. Showed some new characters, some old characters. I was happy to see Kevin from Trails in the Sky the Third. Yeah, some sexy ladies in there that I don't know of. Apparently, it's the last one, right? It's like the third game in the trilogy of Trails Through Daybreak, and that's gonna be the end of the Trails series, according to Falcom. I don't know if that's true or not. I think fans are maybe jumping to conclusions. Wouldn't know. But in my opinion, yeah, the Legend of Heroes should start heading into a different direction. Like, let's end the Trail series and start a whole new series under the name The Legend of Heroes, but no longer Trails, you know, something different, something else. I think that's what Falcom should do, but I think also a lot of people will be upset. A lot of people will be happy, but a lot of people will be upset. They don't want the Trail series to disappear because it's been such an important series for the past 20 years. If I'm not mistaken, Trails in the Sky originally came out in 2004 or 5, around that era. And it became the first of its kind, the first in the Trails series. The Legend of Heroes has been there since the 90s, in the late 80s, early 90s with the Dragon Slayer, you know, but it's been like the Legend of Heroes this and that, and then the Legend of Heroes whatever, the Legend of Heroes blah blah blah. It's been like a very small arcs within the banner The Legend of Heroes. But since Trails in the Sky became successful, especially in Japan, they never stopped. Trails this, Trails that, Trails whatever, Trails. Even Nayuta is a freaking Trails game. So yeah, I think the Trails series should start something fresh, something new. After this new one, Kai no Kiseki, that should be the last one, and then it should start a whole new saga. In my opinion, that will be more interesting. But like I said, the series has a lot of fans, a lot of Puritans, especially in Japan. So I don't know how they will take the departure of the Trail series and a new direction for the saga. I don't know. We're just gonna have to find out. Be patient and find out. When the hell are we going to get that game? That's the question, right? I mean, we are going to get the first one of the trilogy in 2 months, a month and a half, and Japan is getting this last one, this third one in September, I believe. When the hell are we gonna get it? By the time we get that game, there's gonna be a whole new trilogy of something else already. Ay, Nice America, we love you. Even if you take forever, we love you. Will you ever create a comic book? I tried when I wrote a story. I was probably 20, 21 years old, and I wrote a story, and I still have that story in Spanish. I was gonna work with my cousin. He's an artist. He was gonna do all the drawing, and I was gonna do the writing. So I first wrote not exactly a draft, but yeah, more like a draft novel. I said, because that was the agreement. I was like, okay, so if we're gonna work together and publish a comic, how about I write my story? Because I've never written a comic before. I would feel more comfortable if I wrote some kind of novel, some kind of book about it, and then we'll transform it into a comic book. And he agreed. So I wrote the story, and he did some character design. But to be completely honest, he was just a very Western type of artist. Like, he was more into Western RPG style of character design, and I was more into Japanese. And when it comes to storytelling, it was the same. He was like, he criticized my story, saying that it's, dude, you're basically writing a JRPG here. And I wasn't really, not really. But yeah, the characters start off separately, and then they join together, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's a JRPG characteristic, but it's what I do. Those are my influences, and those were my big influences back then. So, yeah, when he sent me the draft of 4 of my main characters in black and white, I was like, the style is great, but I mean, these aren't my characters. They look nothing like what I had in mind. And of course, I had in mind some kind of anime style of characters, and he couldn't draw that, and he was kind of against that, so we broke it off. The project went nowhere. I'm still open to it. I'm still open to it. If one of these days someone will reach out to me to make a comic book and I will write the story, you know, I will be into it. Yeah, sure, why not? As long as our interests align and maybe our influences. Because when your influences are like 180 degrees opposite, it never works. Never fucking works. Like I said before, you know, about 6, 7, 8 years ago. Wow, it's been 8 years. Fuck. 8 years ago, I worked on a game. It was going to be a 2D action RPG inspired by Odin Sphere. The producer, my friend, was on the same page as me. He was a big fan of Odin Sphere, right, and of JRPGs. But the director was a big Souls fan, and he wanted to make a Souls game, you know, and it just went nowhere. The project died because of creative differences between these two guys. I was like, sure, if you want to make an Odin Sphere Souls-like, okay, I'll write the script, whatever, you know, but it went nowhere. Currently reading The Revenant Army, loving it. That's awesome, man. I'm glad you're enjoying the book. That's a great book. Translated exactly 1 year ago. Terra Guidance Anniversary and The Revenant Army original release anniversary are coming up in next month. Terra Guidance first, Revenant Army first, then later. Terra Guidance Anniversary is June 15. I'll probably do a post or something. What do you think of current level 5 with their upcoming releases like Megaton, Musashi Wire, Deca Police? They're interesting games. I'm glad level 5 is coming back. Deca Police looks really interesting. I covered the trailer last year in a video. I'm really looking forward to it. It looks really unique and interesting. I mean, just have you seen the trailer? It looks like something different. It looks like it's gonna be like some kind of like a detective RPG, something like that, but in a futuristic setting with slightly chibi characters and science fiction story and kinda cyberpunkish. I don't know, it's got a lot of personality. I'm really looking forward to Deca Police. It's something that they announced, I think it was announced 2 years ago, and we still haven't heard anything. I don't know why, maybe because they were working and giving priority to this Musashi game. It looks cool. It's not my cup of tea, to be honest, but it looks interesting, that Musashi game. But yeah, it looks cool. Detective Archives Raincoat that came out, that's a Spike Chunsoft game. I haven't played it. I'd love to play it though. It looks really interesting too. But Deca Police just looks like its own thing, like very unique and original. I'm definitely looking forward to it. What are your thoughts on rumors about Microsoft buying Steam Valve? Well, I have obviously a bad feeling about that because Microsoft has shot themselves in the foot so many times in the past and even recently, and I don't know what the heck they're doing. Microsoft became pretty much the modern day Sega. You remember Sega doing a lot of stupid shit in the 90s? Microsoft is the same right nowadays. Xbox is just like, what the heck are you doing, man? You're taking the company into a what the hell direction, right? But if they do buy Steam, and I don't think they will, but if they do end up buying, of course they're gonna fuck it up badly. They're gonna ruin it. But I don't think the rumors are true. Why will Steam... What's the guy's name, Gabe? Why will he say... I mean, he's rich. He doesn't have any need for Microsoft buying his company, you know. I just don't understand. And, but that's the best opinion I can give you, because after all, I don't play on Steam. I don't play on PC. I've played on PC before, but only emulators. So, I don't play on Steam. It's not like I can make a big argument or a big, you know, speech, monologue about about why Microsoft shouldn't buy Steam or why Steam shouldn't sell, you know, because I mean, who am I to talk about these companies, right? Because I don't support them. I'm a PlayStation and Nintendo guy, and an emulation guy, and that's it. But yeah, I'm pretty sure, given the current state of Microsoft nowadays, if they do something like that, if they buy Steam, it's gonna fuck it all up. I think it's easier for me to talk about IGN buying these sites like Eurogamer and other websites. But it's like, we already know why they're doing that, because they have no money, because they're dying, because magazines Nobody trusts them anymore. Nobody gives a flying fuck about IGN anymore. People care more about Metacritic nowadays. And that's a shitty website. IGN? No one cares, IGN. And it's pretty damn obvious. You're doing this for two reasons. Why? Because you buy you're gonna buy smaller companies to fill your fucking pockets and fire people so you get more money. That's what IGN is doing. And of course, I don't want to get into this anymore, but they're doing this so they can have more websites to fill in, well, their pockets, but also to continue their political narrative and woke agendas, right? But the main fucking reason is because they are possibly on the brink of bankruptcy, because everybody shits on IGN nowadays. Nobody takes them seriously. There's a million memes about them. Everybody calls them IG7 instead of IGN because every single fucking game is a 7 out of 10. Bunch of fucking shitty reviewers who aren't even professional reviewers. They're just a bunch of dumbasses, politicized dumbasses following a fucking political agenda. And they give a 7 out of 10. I mean, what the fuck, man? IGN, of course they're desperate. Of course they're buying a bunch of fucking companies. Because they're starving. And going back to the Microsoft thing, I think it's just a rumor that they're trying to buy Steam. I think it's just a rumor. I don't think it's true. But if it were true, then maybe it's the same. Microsoft is probably in Xbox in a financial situation. And they're trying to buy other companies, to fire a lot of people and get the names and monopolize, and fill their fucking pockets and get richer. Also, they can keep affording their fucking jets, their islands, their ships, their fucking pornography, their drugs, Also, they can do that. But I wouldn't know. That's a stretch. IGN, I'm pretty sure that's what's happening. But Microsoft, I don't think the rumors are true. Exactly. I mean, when IGN came out to really, really strongly attack Stellar Blade, I mean, really? Just for the sexiness? I mean, there's 10,000 video games, not just JRPGs, extremely sexualized. They don't give a shit. But Stellar Blade, it was a campaign. It was basically a hate campaign to hate on the game, just for a few sexy outfits. I mean, IGN, the most pathetic gaming website in the world nowadays. The most pathetic. Yeah, you can tell I fucking hate them and I have no respect for them. Gabe Newell used to work for Microsoft and Steam OS, Proton. Proton existed because of his fear of Microsoft's monopoly on PC gaming. But things change. Enemies become friends all of a sudden. I'm just saying, I don't think Gabe is going to sell Steam to Microsoft. You think Zero, the Japanese video game rating system, should be abandoned? I've always been... I don't think it should be abandoned. But I've always been I've always had mixed feelings about the ESRB and rating systems, about that, because all they do is enforce censorship, in my opinion. But also, on the other hand, all they do is tell people what to buy and what not to buy. And of course, because this is how humans are, whenever they tell you, oh, this is a mature rated game, everybody's gonna buy it. And that's what people do, all over the world. But yeah, I think it's also important, like, I don't know, if... I'm gonna sound kind of politically correct with this, and I'm sorry, but I mean, if I don't have any kids, but I wouldn't want my 6-year-old kid playing Dante's Inferno, for example. I don't know, man. I feel uncomfortable with that. But if my kid was 10, yeah, I was like, here. Today we begin your edginess indoctrination. Today I'm gonna make an edgy motherfucker out of you. A based, truthful, brutally honest guy out of you. You're gonna play this game, and then he's not gonna sleep. He's gonna be like, oh, the monsters! I'm seeing the monsters in my room, Dad. I was like that. When I was 10 years old, I was 9 years old, I was scared shit about Predator, aliens, alien movies, you know. I was like, man, I had these nightmares about Predator, you know, because I watched it. I don't know, man. But you could say that I'm a bit more against the ESRB or the zero ratings than not. I'm more against it. I see the good in it, but I'm more against it because all they do is promote censorship. But it's okay, you know, it's cool to have something and put the mature rating, that prohibited, this is adults only, because it's only gonna make people buy it and consume it. It's a good strategy. I wish I could do that for my books, you know, but it makes no sense. But I wish I could do the same. Like to put a mature rating in there, like mature rated, oh man, it's edgy, adults only, let's buy it. What do you think of the Blue Dragon remaster rumor? I didn't know there was a rumor. Remaster? No, Sakaguchi. Lost Odyssey, man! Why Blue Dragon? I mean, Blue Dragon is a great game, sure, but Lost... I mean, of all of your freaking games, why would you pick that? It's like Bandai Namco. Oh, which Tales game should I remaster? Symphonia again. You know, I mean, Blue Dragon is an exclusive to the 360. It needs to come out of there. I agree. And it will be fun to see it remastered, but why would you, as a company, as the developer, why would you give priority to that and not to your best game, which is Lost Odyssey? Anyway, man, if the remaster is... I mean, where do you hear that? Where do you hear that rumor? I'm interested now, because that's exciting news. An Xbox 360 exclusive getting remastered? That's like... We've been waiting for that to happen for decades. Both Blue Dragon and Lost Odyssey? You know what I think might happen? It's... They're gonna release them digitally with 1080p graphics at 60 frames per second. Digitally on Xbox console. It's exclusive to them. Maybe. Like a proper remaster, multi-platform will be the ideal scenario for Lost Odyssey or Blue Dragon. But, the rumor just says fans of 360 JRPGs might have something to look forward to. Oh, okay. Who said that? Lost Odyssey doesn't need a remake. It's almost perfect as it is. I mean, it looks beautiful. It aged perfectly well, so a remaster is better, not a remake. It was a leaker. Oh, it was a leak. Okay. We'll see. Nowadays, 8 out of 10 leaks end up being true. That's all I'm gonna say. 8 out of... Not every single one of them. 8 out of 10 leaks turn out to be true at some point. So I'm excited. Hopefully, yeah, it's gonna happen. They get remastered, but I am pretty sure what I said, that's what's gonna happen. That they'll probably just release them digitally with upscale graphics, and that's it. Microsoft, I mean, yeah, that's what's gonna happen, probably. But I'll be glad, very happy to swallow my words if not. You would rather have The Last Story over Blue Dragon, but that's Nintendo. Same company, same developer, Mistwalker, Sakaguchi, but that's Nintendo. But yeah, hell yeah. That needs to be on Switch and PS5. Oh, this on PS5? Ooh, I want that on PS5, man. I want Lost Odyssey on PS5. But Lost, I don't know, there's something about the graphics of The Last Story, probably because it's a Wii. The Wii had the worst graphics of its generation. But can you just close your eyes and imagine The Last Story on the PlayStation 5? Physical copy of or digital for longevity? That's an interesting question. Anybody will probably pick physical, right? Because digital, when you buy something digital, you don't 100% own it. And when you buy physical, you own it. But physical games are going to stop working at some point. Right? But I don't know, it's every single video game works nowadays. You know, Odyssey games work, Atari games still work. So, I don't know, they've been telling us since for... I remember doing a video about this with my friend Oscar in Discussion Gamer, like, oh, games are gonna stop working at some point. And I was like, when? It's been like 50 years since some consoles came out and their games still work. Sure, I believe that. I believe they're gonna stop working. Discs are gonna rot. You know, PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4. Eventually they're gonna stop working. But when? Probably gonna be dead by the time my PS1 collection stops working. Nah, I'm exaggerating. I'll probably still be alive. But yeah. So it's an interesting question. Like for longevity, I mean, physical is better because you own it. But you're not completely protected with that. You're not completely out of the woods just by collecting physical, because like I was saying, physical media is going to stop working at some point, right? But it'll be years. I think PS3, PS2 games are gonna be working in 10 years from now, 20 years probably, still gonna be working. So yeah, physical media will be better for longevity. Did Radiata Stories ever got remastered? Nope. Nothing. It's still exclusive to the PS2. It didn't even come out digitally on the PlayStation 3 all those years ago. Remember how a bunch of PS2 games got ported to the PS2? I mean, to the PS3? Nope. Radiata Stories wasn't one of them.